right, it's been a little while since I've been back at the gym, obviously all sweaty and just finished working out. But the last month has been quite difficult. Just not having time to really work on my business as much as I want or address some of the things that I needed to do. And at the same time, I wanted to share a little bit today about the inner work that comes with being an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a yogipreneur, whatever name you want to put on it to feel like it aligns with you. Go for it. But here's what I've been learning is that it's always going to be a growing time. There's always something to learn. There's always something to experiment with. And building a business, whether it's a one-person business or a 10-person business or whatever, it takes effort. And you just have to keep showing up. Like when you're building anything, even when you're just starting, right? Let alone when you've got like tons of clients and you got to comply with government stuff. There's always going to be something that you have to grow with. And you just have to face that. You know, like I haven't been to the gym for 10 days. And before that, I think it was another 2 or 3 weeks because I was sick, you know? But I haven't been able to come recently because my wife was sick. My son's not feeling well right now. He's recovering, thankfully. But it's, you know, just like so many things all going on at the same time. Because guess what? When you're building your business, which is literally like raising a baby, you have to do everything for it at the beginning. You have to figure out how to get it done. You have to show it the steps. You have to show your customers what to do. You know, like talk to anybody who's running a business and they'll often compare it to having a child. So, you know, and it requires a similar amount of work at the beginning. But guess what? When you're doing all this work, you have to face your fears. You have to do things you don't want to do. And for yoga teachers, I think that's one of the areas of struggle, you know, is doing things you don't want to do. I have this section in one of my courses where teachers have to reach out to people and excuse me, and interview them. And we interview them about excuse me, the sun is in my eyes. And we interview them about like their life and the problems that they're facing that they want to address, and all kinds of personal questions, right? Quite personal. And we have to ask them those questions because we need to find out what their mindset is, what kind of words they're saying to themselves, the emotions that they're struggling with, what they're looking to overcome, where they want to be in their life. And the reason why we have to do this is because then the teachers know that these are the issues students face. These are the things that they're looking for help with. These are the problems that they want solved or minimized. And a lot of teachers find that uncomfortable, right? And it's this weird place where, yeah, it is a little bit uncomfortable. But guess what? This whole time we're here to learn and to grow, and that means we have to step outside of our comfort zone, right? And it's a beautiful opportunity. Like, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of teachers are like, oh, if I have a business, I'm gonna be an evil 1%er. And you're not. But guess what? Everyone in the yoga world loves to talk about doing the inner work and being super spiritual and tuning in with themselves. But I see a lot of procrastination. I see a lot of avoidance. I see a lot of people only doing things that they feel is right, but really it's just doing the things that don't make them feel uncomfortable, right? Don't make them step outside their comfort zone. Let me tell you, your ability to help people is directly related to your ability to feel discomfort yourself. Because guess what? If you can't deal with or process discomfort or feeling uncomfortable, how are you going to guide your students in that journey? Because for them, they're going to be feeling uncomfortable and discomfort in a lot of steps. So if you're not able to do that, how are you going to expect and guide your students to do that? You know? And so building a business is all about learning about yourself. Your business is going to have the exact same problems that you have. If you're bad at finances, your business is going to have bad finances. If you're unclear in what your boundaries are, guess what? Your terms of use and your terms of conditions and stuff for people being in your business, they're going to be just like your boundaries, unclear and unable to stick to them. Because at the end of the day, you're the one running the business, and the business is purely a reflection of you. So all the inner work that yoga teachers love to talk about, the spiritual community loves to talk about, guess what? Yeah, you got to do that hardcore when you're doing a business all the time. If you got issues facing your finances or the emotions that come up when you're looking at your finances, or if you are scared to check your bank account, or if you are unsure how much you're spending on stuff, those things are going to come up in your business. Right? So how do we deal with this? Well, one of the best things you can do is exercise, right? Exercise is a great way to clear out those emotions because you're literally altering the chemical balance in your body. And I've personally been finding that when I exercise and I build my physical strength, and I know I talk a lot about building the body, asana is great. It helps you to make your mind more flexible. Meditation is great. It helps you to sit in the moment. Pranayama is great. It helps you calm down, right? Or energize yourself. Those are all fantastic. We need all of those things. But guess what? You also need strength. You need mental strength. You need emotional strength. You need physical strength. Where do you think mental and emotional strength comes from? Physical strength. Why? Because when you lift weights, it's hard. When you are trying to tone and build your body, I'm not saying you got to be jacked. I'm not saying you got to be a bodybuilder, right? But when you are improving the physical strength of your body, right? Part of what is required is that you do a little bit more lifting than the last time to get a little bit more stronger. Just 1 or 2 reps at a time. That's it. And that's perfectly fine, right? One thing I do in the gym is regularly, I use an app and it tracks how much weight and how many times I lift it. And then when I'm doing it the next time, I just do one more. Just one more than the last time. Maybe 2 more if I feel like it, right? I don't hurt myself, I don't damage my body, but I do encourage myself to explore doing 1 more lift. And what does this do? Well, if I keep doing that, just that tiny little bit extra over time, guess what? My confidence explodes. And pretty soon, I'm raising the weight, right? And then I'm like, wow, I started out and I was lifting a 12 kilo weight. Now I'm doing a 14. Now I'm doing a 16. Now I'm doing an 18. And I see that my body grows, my progress grows, because I just add 1 more rep each time, right? And what this does is that adding that 1 more rep is just a little bit harder. It's a little bit of a struggle, but it's a controlled struggle, like holding asana for 1 or 2 more breaths. This controlled struggle, this intentional discomfort will rocket you into places of growth and the ability to help your students because you can understand what leaning into discomfort is like. It is absolutely a practice, right? And if you're thinking like, well, lifting weights isn't yoga. Well, yoga is not asana, right? Remember? And it's not meditation and it's not just pranayama. It's the mindset. It's the philosophy. It's the concentration. It's the self-control. it's the breath awareness, it's the drishti. All of those things are present in lifting weights. So this calls on us as yoga teachers and business owners to lean into that discomfort. And the more we can lean into that discomfort, the more we can get comfortable with trusting ourselves and our abilities in that new space outside of our comfort zone. And your ability to be comfortable in places that are outside your comfort zone will allow you to thrive and grow as a guide, as a coach, as a mentor, as a yoga teacher, as a business owner, as a person, and in your spiritual journey. Tell me this, or think about this. If you're able to sit somewhere that is a little bit less comfortable because you're lifting weights or you're doing an asana a little bit more, what do you think you will be able to do when an emotion or a mindset or a habit comes up that may no longer be serving you, but is sticking around and makes you feel uncomfortable? You'll be much more capable to face that and to say, okay, I'm gonna sit here and face this for a second. I'm gonna face my fears. I'm gonna face these habits. I'm gonna face these mindsets. And I'm going to sit here and say, you know what? Maybe this isn't the right thing for me anymore. Maybe I can grow beyond this. And when you have that willingness, when you have that strength, right? Because it does take strength to lean into that and to push through it rather than just be molded by it, right? Life is this delicate balance of finding a time to flow. There is a time to flow. There's a time to surrender. There's a time to yield. And that's beautiful. Except only flowing and yielding is just being too passive, right? How are you going to build anything if you're just yielding to everything? You won't, because when you build something, you have to shape other things. Tell me this, does the river shape the earth or does the earth shape the river? It's both, right? You need the frame of the riverbed, but you also need the flow of the river. You can't have one without the other. Guiding your students is a beautiful journey. It's one of the main callings of yoga teachers. But I can tell you, group classes aren't enough. You're not going to make the impact or the income that you want by doing group classes, right? There's time and a place to be super spiritual, but you also need systems and processes. You need policies. You need structure just as much, right? So I know for myself, these past few weeks have been incredibly challenging. And I'd even say this entire time in Sri Lanka has been incredibly challenging. It's weird, but I've also learned it's okay if I don't want to do something. I still need to do it. I still need to show up for my family. I still need to show up for myself. I still need to show up for my business. I still need to show up for my students. And guess what? When I show up, even though I don't want to, usually that feeling of I don't feel like doing this or I don't want to do this goes away quite quickly. I've heard that this is called the gate to the masculine. And essentially, you know, that makes sense, right? Be easy to flow into the gate of the feminine, but the gate of the masculine is structure, grounding. You know, that takes effort to lean into rather than yielding and allowing yourself to lean into. You see? So I hope that you found this helpful. I just wanted to let you know that it's okay to be struggling, right? It's okay to be giving effort, right? Here's the difference. Effort is intentionally taking action and doing things that you know you need to do, but mentally being at ease. Struggle is having mental tension and knowing you need to do things but avoiding them, right? So choose which kind of mindset you want to have. Do you want to be struggling? Do you want to be burdening yourself? Do you want to be overwhelmed? Probably not. But guess what? if you constantly show up, if you constantly give it a try, those things that are an effort or a struggle right now, they'll become easy skills, right? I remember when I was first learning this automation platform, it was a huge struggle. I'd spend hours, sometimes days, working on a piece of this automation to run a part of my business. I get a receipt in my email. I built an automation to look up what company it's from, take the attached receipt, and save it into the correct folder with the right label, get the date, put the date in the name, and save it in the right year. Right? It's crazy, and I have this working now for all of my receipts, which is crazy. So then I just give it to my accountant, right? Because I hated having to manually collect and organize my receipts. Now I built something that does that for me automatically. And the difference is, it took me a super long time to figure that out. But now I have that skill, now I have that confidence, and I can turn that into something I can earn income from. I can show other people how to do that, or I can just keep growing and growing and growing, right? So bear this in mind, that whatever seems like a challenge for you right now is a learning opportunity. But once you get confident at that learning opportunity, you can turn it into a skill. And as you develop that skill, you can turn it into a source of income, right? It's a beautiful journey, and there's always going to be something to work on. So you might as well learn to enjoy finding something that makes you go past your comfort zone, because this is a sign that you're growing, that you're building, that you're creating, and you're becoming the truer, most fullest expression of yourself, right? If you just want to stay where you are and keep struggling with the same things, you're totally welcome to do that. It's just going to be harder and harder because everybody else is looking for something to help them grow, It's a process. If you found this helpful and you'd like to learn how you can grow in your mindset, your skills, and teach online, I've got a link in the description down below. Click the link, join the workshop. I'll see you inside.